Yo, what's up internet? Kusanagi here and we're talking about Massive Object Q, the new Solar Ray boss in Goddess of Victory Nikke. This boss is an iron-coated boss that resembles Ramiel from the Evangelion series. This boss demands precision and I'll be here to guide you through each phase so you can clear it efficiently.
Hey Internet, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to subscribe.
So, let's talk about the mechanics of Massive Object Q. It has no core, meaning there's no bonus damage for targeting its center. Instead, you're going to be focusing on breaking through the mechanics to maintain your damage. In Solo Raid, you deploy 5 teams. Each of these teams should include at least one win code Nikke. The reason is in Phase 2, there is an elemental coded QTE that requires a win code unit to clear it efficiently. The attack patterns of this boss are highly aggressive, but you don't need to be intimidated. Most of the attacks can be mitigated by taking cover. In fact, you can avoid about 80% of incoming damage by playing defensively. However, there are some mechanics that are going to require an immediate response. So, the AT field that is protecting Massive Object Q is 3-layered. It can stack up to 4. It serves as the primary defense mechanism, and here's how it works. Each attack the boss fires depletes 1 layer of the AT field. The AT field only regenerates if it has a direct attack on your Nikke's HP. This doesn't count if it hits a shield or if it hits cover. So by staying behind cover and absorbing hits with barriers instead of HP, you can control the number of stacks of AT field the boss has and thereby increase your damage. There's also some other mechanics that play into this AT field stacks. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The other key attacks of the boss are the summoned energy particles you'll see in the very beginning. These are just giant cubes that you'll see floating. You want to destroy those to make sure that you don't lose your cover and you don't take too much damage. The carousel attack, where the boss basically does a spin. We saw this in the last version of Massive Object. You cannot avoid the damage. This attack pierces through cover, so what you should be doing here is using this as a DPS window. You want to maximize your damage output. Just pummel the boss with as much firepower as you possibly can. And the star formation attack. This is when the AT field essentially becomes lethal. If the boss has enough stacks of AT field, it will damage your Nikke's pretty hard as well as the cover. So it does pierce through cover. You want to avoid letting the boss get too many stacks so you don't lose your run here. So this is why you're trying to control that AT field stack on the boss, not only to maximize your damage output, but to minimize the damage that the boss is going to do when it does this slam attack. The black screen QTE, this is the transition phase between phase 1 and phase 2. It's a diamond formation and it repeats twice. You want to be very careful here. You cannot use a rocket launcher or it's an immediate failure and it will end your run. So you want to use one of your machine guns, sniper rifles, or AR units with plenty of ammo that can very easily navigate the outer part of the diamond cutout. The elemental coated QTE in phase 2 is very simple. It's literally just 2 QTEs on each side of the shield. You want to use your win coded Nikke here to break those very quickly so that way you can continue putting damage on the boss. If you fail to finish this in time, it is a wipe. It will basically do a giant fire explosion on your team and it will end the run early. So you want to make sure that you're ready with that Nikke the moment you come out of phase 2 to be able to handle that elemental coded QTE. Final tips here. When you are targeted by the single laser, definitely take a look at your bottom row of Nikkes to see who's being targeted to put them in cover very quickly to manage that AT field regeneration. The carousel attack is unavoidable. Use that as an opportunity to do as much damage as possible on the boss. Destroy those energy projectiles when you see them. That way you're not taking unnecessary damage and or losing cover. Because if you've lost your cover, it is very difficult then to avoid damage in the later phase. That's everything you need to know against a Massive Object Q. prioritize your wind units, manage the AT field, and take advantage of those DPS windows if you want to be a top scorer. If you found this video useful, leave a like, subscribe, or drop a comment if you have additional strategies. Thank you, and bye-bye.